Miria Preston, if that is even a semblance of your real name, are hereby sentenced to return to your maker, the devil himself. The roar of the angry crowd thunders in my ears after the magistrate's judgment, one word unanimously repeating across the town square in a harsh chorus, a word that stays churning in the pit of my stomach as they drag me into the back of a wagon. Much of the crowd follows, their torches illuminating their screaming faces, flickering in the shadows like 1,000 ghouls. I struggle in vain during the rickety ride, but even if I somehow manage to break free from the iron manacles, it's not like I can escape. The entrance of the dark forest is an entire 3 miles from the village, but the angry throng follows the entire way to witness my demise. My chest feels so tight I can barely breathe. My heart pounds with an overwhelming amount of adrenaline and makes my frantic thoughts phase in and out to blackness. You can't trust them. Not one of them will have your back in the end. Not when they find out what you really are. Why couldn't I have just heeded Mom's dying words? I thought, when I met him, that beautiful blue-eyed soldier, that her strict warning could be set aside. Even though his occupation made him the worst threat to our kind, he was different. At least, that's what I thought. But those blue eyes that once swam with an ocean of love now looked down at me icily. Nothing more than the gaze of a hunter beholding the next beast he's paid to exterminate. But just like that, though? 3 years worth of happy memories, sharing secrets and dreams, planning a future together. Then one glimpse at what's beneath and suddenly none of it matters anymore. The grief has a degenerative effect on my spirit, and tears flow down, more so from the sting of betrayal than the fear of what's to come. I'm not sure how much time passes in this torturous ride, but soon the end arrives, and I'm being yanked from the carriage. The ropes dig painfully into my skin, and the guards' rough handle on me nearly dislocates my arms by the time I'm dragged to the dark forest's entrance. I can hardly see anything past the initial line of trees, and a sense of dread hangs over like a thick current. The air has noticeably become much colder, and with one gust of wind, the sea of torches behind me wink out one by one. It's the only force powerful enough to finally silence all their voices, but the quiet brings no peace. Soon, one of the guards takes full control, escorting me away from the onlookers and towards the point of no return. And of all the hunters, it has to be him. You should know, I particularly pushed this end for you. They wanted to prolong your suffering, unplug your eyes, splice off a piece of you each day, among other things. This way, it will be quick, he says, and the arrogance makes my blood boil. As if he's doing me a favor. As if I should be thanking him. I turn my head away, not wanting any sight of him to occupy these final moments. The cliff nears and I brace myself for the push. However, I hear him fishing for something for a minute before his gloved hands force my fists open. I can't resist his strength, especially in the weak state my body's in, and a cold metal slips into my palm. When I look down, I find it's a small key, and I can't help but turn my gaze back to him in surprise. His eyes aren't filled with regret exactly, but there is a sort of soft edge there as he looks down at me. Despite what you think, I actually did care for you. The chances of your survival remains close to 0, but consider this a token of my sentiments. Perhaps you'll be able to find some corner of the woods the Drek can't enter. There's so much I want to say to him, but I don't want to give him the satisfaction of hearing my last words, so I just turn away again. And that cursed man actually laughed, a wry sort of chuckle that echoes in my ears long after he sends me over the edge. The cliffside isn't a complete freefall, but the tumble down is so bad I almost wish it was. Then it really would have been over. As it is, I find myself still alive, lying crumpled at the bottom of the abyss. A dull pain slowly radiates throughout my body, bruising over my skin as I try to recover enough strength to sit up. Total darkness swallows me on every side, but I can feel the shift in my insides, that feared power that earned me this execution in the eyes of the people. It gradually builds, and for once I don't attempt to resist it as it swells through every part of me. It's not like there's any point in hiding it anymore. Night vision is the first to kick in, but even then, it's so pitch black down here, I can only see a few feet into my immediate surroundings. The trees down here grow thick and crooked, their limbs looming like an ocean of bony fingers pointing at me. The wind does not reach this far, nor is there any gentle call of birds or forest critters. Not one buzz of an insect to break the deafening quiet. There's only a heavy thumping that quakes the earth in the nearby distance. The Drek. My powers have taken over completely, but I'm no fool to think I stand a chance. My heart's still beating as of this moment, but fear stiffens my movement so much it feels like rigor mortis has already set in. The skeleton key is still locked in my palm. Somehow, I manage to undo the death grip my fingers have on it and start frantically unloosing myself from the chains. Running won't help much. Even using the speed of all 4 legs, each earth-shattering step of that beast seems to cover miles of ground. I know, because the first time my ears pick it up, it's still a vast ways away. The second, maybe a lake's width off. The third, so close I can barely stand against the turbulent reverberations rippling from its foot. Still, I can't just stay frozen in place. Like my cursed former beau had suggested, my best bet really is to find some corner of the woods the dread cannot enter. And fast. I break out into the quickest sprint my shaking legs can carry me, the trees continuing to point after me like a moving target. The ground is reduced to a violent convulsing mass. I'm running against a current so thick, no matter how hard I thrust myself ahead, I feel I'm only moving backwards. My eyes scour through the darkness for any burrow to dive into, any hooded nook or cranny tucked inside this vast abyss. The Drek's prowl is growing more angry, more focused. Its hot breath sniffs around, tongue flicking hungrily, tasting the air for my scent. Panicked tears streak over my vision, but I furiously shake them away and continue searching for salvation. But every which way, there's nothing. No escape, no way out, no one to even hear my scream. But I keep running. I can't just lay down and die. I won't. Because just on the off chance that something catches my eye in the last second, that I somehow survive this ordeal and claw my way back to the surface area, back to where that blue-eyed hunter is no doubt celebrating with his colleague, I will come for him. And when I do, I won't just be taking my heart back. I'll be sure to rip his clean from his lifeless form as well. Thank you so much for watching. You can check out this story and others on my Wattpad. Please be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to help support my channel, and stay tuned for the next one.